Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a fascinating and often overlooked collectible, the 1967 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition. If you're someone who loves coin collecting, or you're just curious about the hidden value in everyday currency, then this video is going to be really interesting for you. This isn't just any coin. It's a small piece of Australian history, and depending on its condition, it can hold more value than you might expect. So let's explore its story, its features, and what collectors are willing to pay for it today. The 1967 Australian 20-cent coin is part of Australia's early decimal currency system, which was officially introduced in 1966. This marked a major transition from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to a modern decimal system, making 1967 one of the earliest years of issue. These coins were produced by the Royal Australian Mint, and they carry both historical and collectible significance because they represent the early phase of Australia's modern coinage. When we talk about a very fine condition coin, we're referring to a piece that has clearly been in circulation but still retains strong detail. The design elements are visible, though slightly worn, and the coin overall still looks respectable and collectible. It's not perfect, but it has character, and many collectors actually appreciate coins with a bit of history showing on their surface. Now let's take a closer look at the coin itself. The 1967 Australian 20-cent coin features the iconic platypus design on the reverse side, which has become one of the most recognizable symbols in Australian coinage. The obverse side features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, as Australia was and remains part of the Commonwealth. In terms of composition, this coin is made of cupro-nickel, which is a blend of and. This gives the coin its durable silver-like appearance and helps it resist corrosion over time. It has a weight of approximately and a distinctive wavy edge, which makes it easy to identify even without looking closely. The craftsmanship of these coins is quite impressive, especially considering they were produced in large quantities for everyday use. Now let's talk about collector demand, which plays a huge role in determining the value of any coin. The 1967 Australian 20-cent coin is not considered extremely rare, as millions were minted. However, demand still exists, especially among beginner collectors and those building complete sets of Australian decimal coins. Coins in very fine condition are particularly interesting because they strike a balance between affordability and collectability. They are accessible to new collectors while still holding enough detail to be appreciated by more experienced hobbyists. There is also a growing interest in vintage coins globally, and Australian coins are no exception. Collectors from around the world often seek these pieces to diversify their collections, which helps maintain steady demand in the market. So what is the current market value of a 1967 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition? As of today, the value typically ranges between $2,040,000 to $275,000, depending on the exact condition, shine, and overall eye appeal. Some coins that are closer to extremely fine condition may fetch slightly higher prices, especially if they have minimal wear and attractive toning. While this may not seem like a huge amount, it's important to remember that this coin was originally just worth 20 cents. Over time, it has gained collectible value, and that in itself is a positive sign for collectors. Also, values can change depending on market trends, collector interest, and availability. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye on recent sales and auctions. If you're interested in collecting coins like this, there are a few helpful things to keep in mind. First, always check the condition carefully. Even small differences in wear can affect the value significantly. It's also a good idea to store your coins properly. Using coin holders or albums can help preserve their condition and prevent further wear or damage. Another important tip is to learn continuously. The more you understand about coin grading, minting history, and market trends, the better decisions you'll be able to make as a collector. And most importantly, enjoy the process. Coin collecting is not just about value, it's about history, discovery, and the excitement of finding something unique. To wrap things up, the 1967 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition is a wonderful example of how even common coins can hold historical and collectible value. It represents an important era in Australia's monetary history and continues to attract interest from collectors around the world. While its market value today may be modest, its true worth lies in its story, its design, and the joy it brings to those who collect it. If you have one of these coins, hold on to it. It's a small but meaningful piece of history. And if you're just starting your collecting journey, coins like this are a perfect place to begin. Next up, today we're going to explore something small in size, but surprisingly interesting in value, the Australian 20-cent coin from the year 2002, especially in very fine condition. If you enjoy coin collecting, or you're just curious about the hidden value of everyday currency, this is going to be a fascinating journey. Let's take a closer look at this coin, its history, what makes its condition important, how collectors see it, and most importantly, what it could be worth in today's market. The Australian 20-cent coin has been part of everyday life in Australia since it was first introduced in 1966 when the country switched to decimal currency. By 2002, this coin was already a familiar piece in circulation, used daily by millions of people. What makes the 2002 version special is not that it was rare in mintage, but that it represents a piece of modern history, a time when coins were still heavily used before digital payments became dominant. On the front side of the coin, you'll see the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait was used on many Commonwealth coins during that era and reflects a mature and detailed representation of the Queen. On the reverse side, there's the iconic platypus design, created by Stuart Devlin, which gives the coin its unique Australian identity. The platypus, with its calm ripples in water, symbolizes the country's rich wildlife and natural beauty. Now let's talk about condition, because this is where things start to matter more. When we say a coin is in very fine condition, it means that the coin has been in circulation, but still retains many of its original details. You might notice some light wear on the high points, like the Queen's hair or the platypus design, but overall the features remain clear and attractive. A 2002 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition is not worn out or damaged. Instead, it still carries a strong visual appeal. Collectors appreciate coins in this condition because they strike a balance between affordability and quality. They show history through their wear, but still look impressive in a collection. In terms of composition, the Australian 20-cent coin is made from cupro-nickel, which is a blend of. This combination gives the coin its silver-like appearance and durability. Even after years of circulation, these coins tend to hold up quite well, which is why many 2002 coins can still be found in decent condition today. The coin weighs 11.31 grams and has a distinctive scalloped edge with 12 sides, making it easy to recognize even by touch. This unique shape adds character and also makes it stand out compared to many other coins around the world. When it comes to collector demand, the 2002 Australian 20-cent coin is not considered rare, but that doesn't mean it has no value. In fact, collectors often look for coins from specific years to complete sets, and the 2002 coin plays an important role in those collections. Demand increases when the coin is in better condition. A very fine example is more desirable than a heavily worn one because it preserves more detail and aesthetic appeal. Some collectors also enjoy collecting coins from the early 2000s as a nostalgic reminder of a time before digital payments became widespread. So while this coin might not be a headline rarity, it still has a steady and consistent demand among collectors, especially those building complete Australian decimal sets. Now let's talk about the part everyone is curious about: the current market value. A 2002 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition generally has a modest value. In most cases, it ranges from around $1,030,000 to $150,000, depending on the exact condition and the buyer's interest. In some collector markets, especially when sold as part of a set or in slightly better condition, it may reach a bit higher, but typically it stays within this range. What's important to understand is that value is not always just about rarity. Sometimes it's about completeness, condition, and presentation. A clean, well-preserved coin can always attract more attention than one that looks worn out, even if both are technically common. If you're a collector or thinking about becoming one, coins like this are actually a great place to start. They are affordable, easy to find, and still offer a connection to history. Keeping your coins in a proper storage, such as coin holders or albums, can help preserve their condition over time. It's also a good idea to handle coins carefully, preferably by the edges, to avoid adding fingerprints or scratches. Over time, even small steps like these can make a noticeable difference in maintaining a coin's quality and appeal. Exploring coins from different years and conditions can also help you develop a better eye for grading, which is an important skill in the world of numismatics. In conclusion, the 2002 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition may not be extremely rare, but it holds its own special place in the world of coin collecting. It represents a piece of everyday history, carries a beautiful and iconic design, and offers a solid starting point for collectors of all levels. Its value today might be modest, but its true worth lies in the story it tells and the journey it represents. Every coin has passed through many hands, witnessed countless transactions, and now has the chance to become part of a collection that preserves its legacy. So the next time you come across a simple 20-cent coin, take a closer look. You might just discover a small treasure with a story worth telling. Next up, today we're diving into a fascinating piece of Australian coinage that often goes unnoticed in everyday transactions, but holds real interest for collectors, the 1981 Australian 20-cent coin, especially in fine condition. You might have one sitting in a drawer or tucked away in an old wallet, and by the end of this video, you'll have a much better idea of its story and what it could be worth today. Let's start by going back in time a little. The Australian 20-cent coin was first introduced in 1966 when Australia transitioned to decimal currency. By 1981, the coin had already become a familiar part of everyday life across the country. The design remained consistent during those years, featuring Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse side, reflecting Australia's connection to the British monarchy, while the reverse showcases the iconic platypus, a uniquely Australian animal that adds charm and national identity to the coin. Now, when we talk about a 1981 coin in fine condition, we're referring to a coin that has seen some circulation but still retains clear details. The platypus design should still be well defined, and the portrait of the queen should be recognizable without heavy wear. Fine condition coins are not perfect, but they are still attractive and collectible, especially for those building complete date sets. Looking at the background and composition of the coin, the 20-cent piece is made from cupro-nickel, which is a blend of copper and nickel. This composition gives the coin its silver-like appearance and durability. It weighs approximately and has a distinctive shape with a scalloped edge, making it easy to recognize even without looking directly at it. This durability is one reason why many 1981 coins still exist today in relatively decent condition. When it comes to collector demand, the 1981 Australian 20-cent coin is considered a common date, meaning it was produced in large numbers. However, that doesn't mean it lacks value or interest. Collectors who enjoy completing full series collections still actively look for coins from every year, and condition plays a huge role here. A coin in fine condition is often a starting point for new collectors, while more experienced collectors may seek higher grades. There's always a steady level of demand for coins like this because they are accessible, affordable, and part of a larger collecting journey. Now let's talk about the current market value, which is probably what many of you are most curious about. A 1981 Australian 20-cent coin in fine condition typically holds a modest value in today's market. In most cases, it ranges from around $145,000 to $75,000, depending on the exact condition and buyer interest. While this might not sound like a huge amount, it's important to remember that coin collecting is not always about high prices. It's about history, enjoyment, and the satisfaction of building a meaningful collection over time. Coins in better condition, such as extremely fine or uncirculated, can reach higher values, but even fine condition pieces have their place and importance. For those of you interested in collecting, there are some simple tips that can really make a difference. Always try to store your coins properly, using holders or albums to protect them from scratches and environmental damage. Avoid cleaning your coins, as this can actually reduce their value rather than improve it. Take your time learning about grading, because understanding condition is one of the most powerful tools a collector can have. And most importantly, enjoy the process. Every coin tells a story, and even common coins like the 1,981 Australian 20-cent piece can be a meaningful part of your collection. As we wrap up, it's clear that the 1,981 Australian 20-cent coin may not be rare or extremely valuable, but it still carries historical significance and collector appeal. It represents a moment in Australia's decimal currency era and continues to be appreciated by collectors around the world. Whether you're just starting your collection or expanding an existing one, coins like this offer a great opportunity to learn, explore, and connect with history in a tangible way. Next up, today we're going to explore the fascinating story behind the 1,968 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition, and most importantly, how much it's worth in today's market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this is a coin you'll definitely want to know about. The Australian 20-cent coin was first introduced in 1966, shortly after Australia transitioned to decimal currency. By 1968, this coin had already become a regular part of everyday transactions across the country. The design features a beautiful platypus on the reverse side, a unique and iconic Australian animal, while the obverse displays Queen Elizabeth II. Now, when we talk about a coin from 1968 being in very fine condition, we're referring to a coin that has seen some circulation but still retains strong details. The platypus design remains clear, and while there may be light wear, the overall appearance is still quite attractive. Coins in this condition strike a balance between age and preservation, making them appealing to collectors who appreciate history without requiring perfection. This coin isn't made from precious metals like silver or gold, but it still carries intrinsic interest due to its composition. The 1,968 Australian 20-cent coin is made from cupro-nickel, which is a blend of copper and nickel. This combination gives the coin its durable, silvery appearance and allows it to withstand years of circulation without losing its core structure. Weighing around and featuring a distinctive 12-sided shape, this coin stands out from many others in the world. Its size and shape were designed to make it easily recognizable, even by touch, which was especially useful in everyday transactions. Now let's talk about demand. Coins from the late 1960s, including the 1968 Australian 20-cent piece, are not considered extremely rare because they were minted in large numbers. However, that doesn't mean they are ignored by collectors. In fact, there is steady demand for these coins, especially when they are found in better conditions like very fine or higher. Collectors often seek these coins to complete date sets or to build a full collection of early decimal Australian coins. The historical significance, combined with the iconic platypus design, keeps interest alive. While it may not be the rarest coin, it certainly holds a respected place in the numismatic world. So, what is the value of a 1,968 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition today? In most cases, this coin typically sells for around $30,000 to $50,000 Australian dollars, depending on the exact condition, eye appeal, and where it is sold. If the coin has slightly better preservation, with sharper details and minimal marks, it might even fetch a bit more. On the other hand, coins closer to average circulated condition may stay on the lower end of that range. While it's not a high-value coin, it's still a great example of how everyday currency can gain collectible value over time. If you're interested in collecting coins like this, it's always a good idea to focus on condition. Even small improvements in quality can make a noticeable difference in value. Look for coins with clear details, minimal scratches, and a pleasing overall look. It's also helpful to store your coins properly. Using coin holders or albums can protect them from damage and preserve their condition for years to come. And remember, collecting isn't just about value, it's about enjoyment, history, and the thrill of finding something special. The 1,968 Australian 20-cents coin in very fine condition may not make you rich, but it tells a story that goes far beyond its price. It represents a moment in Australia's history, a shift to modern currency, and a design that continues to capture attention. For collectors, it's a meaningful addition to any collection, offering both historical value and steady demand. And for beginners, it's a perfect starting point, affordable, accessible, and rich in character. Next up, today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Australia 20-cents coin from 2001, especially those rare pieces showing a green rust tone, yet still in fine condition. You might be surprised at what this humble coin could be worth today in dollars. The Australian 20-cents coin has been part of everyday life since 1966, when Australia transitioned to decimal currency. The 2001 version is not extremely old, but it represents a modern era of Australian coinage, making it interesting for collectors who enjoy building complete date sets. Now, when we talk about a 2001 coin with green rust, we're referring to signs of oxidation that can develop over time. While rust or discoloration might sound like damage, in some cases, it actually adds uniqueness and character, especially if the coin is still in fine condition. A fine condition coin means the design is still clearly visible, with moderate wear but no major damage. Collectors often appreciate coins like this because they show real circulation history while still maintaining their identity. The Australian 20-cents coin is made from a copper-nickel alloy, which gives it durability and resistance to heavy wear. The coin features the iconic platypus design on the reverse side, a symbol of Australia's unique wildlife, while the obverse carries the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, reflecting Australia's historical ties to the British monarchy. The greenish tone that sometimes appears is usually the result of environmental exposure. While copper-nickel coins don't rust in the same way as iron, they can develop surface reactions that create unusual colors. For collectors, this can sometimes make a coin stand out from regular circulated pieces. Collector demand for a 2001 Australian 20-cents coin depends heavily on condition and uniqueness. A standard circulated coin from this year is very common, but when you add distinctive features like unusual toning or oxidation, it can spark curiosity among collectors. There is a growing community of collectors who appreciate coins with character rather than perfect mint shine. These collectors look for coins that tell a story, and a naturally toned or slightly aged coin can be more appealing than a plain one. However, it's important to understand that demand varies, and not every toned coin automatically becomes highly valuable. Now let's talk about what you really want to know: the current market value in dollars. A regular 2001 Australian 20-cents coin in circulated condition is typically worth around which is 20 cents. However, if the coin is in fine condition and has a distinctive green tone or attractive aging, collectors might pay a bit more. In today's market, such a coin could range roughly between 1,050,000 to 2,040,000 Australian dollars, depending on how appealing the toning is and how well preserved the details remain. In rare cases, if the coin has particularly and even toning, it might attract slightly higher offers from niche collectors, but generally, it remains in the low-value collectible range. If you're collecting coins like this, the best approach is to focus on quality and uniqueness. Always handle your coins carefully and avoid cleaning them, because cleaning can reduce their value significantly. Natural condition is always preferred in the coin collecting world. It's also a good idea to store your coins in a dry, safe place to prevent further damage. Learning about coin grading and staying updated with market trends can help you make better decisions over time. Most importantly, collect what you enjoy, because passion is what makes coin collecting truly rewarding. In the end, the 2001 Australian 20-cents coin with a green rust tone in fine condition may not make you instantly rich, but it carries something far more meaningful: a story, a touch of history, and a unique character that sets it apart from millions of others. Every coin has a journey, and sometimes, even the smallest ones can bring the biggest satisfaction to collectors. So next time you come across an old coin, take a closer look. You might just be holding a hidden gem. Next up, Today, we're diving deep into the 2016 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition, exploring its story, its appeal to collectors, and most importantly, its current market value in dollars. The Australian 20-cent coin has been part of the nation's currency since 1966, when Australia transitioned to decimal currency. By 2016, the coin was already a familiar part of everyday life, widely used in transactions across the country. Despite being a modern issue, every coin tells a story through its condition. When we talk about a very fine condition coin, we're referring to a piece that has seen some circulation but still retains clear design details. The main features, including the platypus design on the reverse, remain sharp and visible, though there may be light wear on the high points. It's not brand new, but it's far from worn out. This balance between use and preservation makes very fine coins quite interesting for collectors who appreciate both history and affordability. The 2016 Australian 20-cent coin is made from a cupro-nickel alloy, a combination of this gives the coin its distinctive silvery appearance and strong durability. Weighing around and featuring a unique dodecagonal, or it stands out from many other coins around the world. The reverse side showcases the iconic platypus, one of Australia's most unique native animals. This design has remained largely unchanged for decades, symbolizing continuity and national identity. On the obverse side, you'll find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, reflecting Australia's connection to the British monarchy during that period. Now you might wonder, why would collectors be interested in a coin from as recent as 2016? The answer lies in the broader world of numismatics, where collectors often seek complete sets, specific years, or coins in particular conditions. While the 2016 Australian 20-cent coin is not considered rare, it still holds steady demand among collectors who are building year-by-year collections. Beginners especially find these coins appealing because they are accessible and affordable. For experienced collectors, even a common coin can become valuable if it is in excellent condition or part of a larger, well-maintained collection. The demand is also influenced by factors like mintage numbers, condition, and any potential minting variations. Even though most 2016 coins are standard, collectors always keep an eye out for unusual features or errors that could increase value. When it comes to the current market value, a 2016 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition typically holds a modest premium over its. In today's market, you can generally expect it to be worth around $45,000 to $75,000 Australian dollars. In some cases, depending on presentation or if sold as part of a collection, it might fetch slightly more, but it remains a low-value coin in terms of rarity. However, its real worth lies in its role within a collection and its representation of modern Australian coinage. If you're thinking about collecting coins like this, the key is consistency and care. Even coins with low individual value can become meaningful when collected as part of a complete series. Always store your coins in a dry environment to prevent damage, and handle them carefully to maintain their condition. It's also a great idea to learn how to grade coins properly, because even a small difference in condition can affect value. Over time, as you build your collection, you may find that the real reward is not just financial, but also the enjoyment of preserving history. So, the 2016 Australian 20-cent coin in very fine condition may not make you rich overnight, but it represents something more valuable, a connection to everyday history, a gateway into the world of coin collecting, and a reminder that even the simplest objects can carry meaning. Every coin has a journey, and when you take the time to understand it, you begin to see value in a whole new way. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, this small piece of currency can still bring a sense of discovery and appreciation.